What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. I'm Seth.
I'm Chevy.
A quick reminder to play Hitman Season 1 and For Honor, both offer for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those, come back to the Month for Plus Club. Let us know your opinions on those games. We'll let you know our opinions on those games. And our Game of the Month randomly picked is Soul Calibur 6. Make sure to play that. Come back at the end of the month for Game of the Month and let us know what you thought of that game. We'll let you know what we thought of it as well. We have Discord, link down below. Make sure to hit the link and talk to us anytime, all the time. And we are on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you'd prefer to listen to us. And if you're listening to us and you want to check us out on YouTube, check us out at Tasty Loot Gaming. So luckily we did Tastecast. If you missed that, make sure to go check that out. It's like over 2 hours, so it's plenty of content. It was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
We talked pretty much about a lot of random shit. But we kind of struggled finding stuff to talk about in that episode because Nintendo Direct just happened, and that's kind of like the big news. Luckily, two things have come out in the last day that I think are pretty worthwhile to talk about. So we're going to jump into that. First bit of news. With Apex Legends coming out and kind of stealing the show from a lot of games, luckily Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is releasing their newest season as of today, called Operation Grand Heist. Before we get into the details, we're going to watch a trailer real fast, give impressions of that, and then we'll go into what is going to be offered in this season. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go 3, 2, 1, and go. The new car and police car.
No, this is for their Battle Royale mode.
It's a new season for everything. I believe they're adding new stuff to every mode.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm unfamiliar.
It's supposed to add like new maps and everything. It's one reason I kind of emphasize the Apex Legends things, like this timing for them to kind of try and pull some people back.
Yeah.
Kiss them goodbye.
I believe that's Outrider from Black Ops 3, which is kind of cool to see a new character coming in.
It's still weird to me to see vehicles.
Yeah. So we got a casino level. That'll be interesting. I always like when, yeah, I always like when Treyarch gets experimental with their maps. They're not like, just like a destroyed town or something like that.
This is like a police station.
Yeah, it seems like it. Which is pretty cool looking.
Plan works.
So a bunch of new content. What do we think of the trailer before we get into the details?
I gotta say, actually, I don't play the game because of the strict multiplayer focus on it. But the trailer itself, I thought was put together really well. It comes off like action movie really well, while also showing off what is being released. So I think it's well put together, to be honest. So
Yeah, I think it really emphasizes the suite of content that Black Ops has, that you have zombies, multiplayer, and the battle royal mode, and they're all getting something, and it's like they're emphasizing just like the fun and the chaos that's going to come with that. So they're actually adding quite a bit of stuff too, so it's really interesting to see all that. It was kind of hard to keep track of all the new stuff though, because of how quick things were fucking flying through, but I think it's well put together too.
it's also easy to get distracted with the constant, like car running into things, guns going off, explosions going off, camera constantly panning. So like it would be difficult to just sit there in one viewing and catch everything. So
Yeah. I like how I was sitting in front of the heater. I could see my breath, but I can't see yours. I heated my body up apparently while I was in the house. Yeah. So let's get into the details. So let's see. Call of Duty Black Ops 4's next major season of content arrives tomorrow with the launch of Operation Grand Heist, delivering new content across traditional multiplayer, zombies, and battle royale style blackout game modes. Standard multiplayer will see the addition of a new specialist outrider, like I said, from Black Ops 3, who in that was able to see enemies through walls, I believe, but also had a bow and arrow that she could use as her special. And the return of one in the chamber, which was a really cool game mode I really liked. Surprised it's coming in this late, though. Players will also have access to 2 new maps, Casino and Lockup, and be subjected to massive weapon and gameplay balancing, which is interesting to hear because they've been doing that pretty regularly already. So to hear that they're going to be doing massive, in quotes, weapon and gameplay balancing, hopefully they adjust the TTK a little bit in Blackout, even though this was for multiplayer. Zombie mode, meanwhile, is getting a new gauntlet called DeathCon 5, support for signature weapons, and a new perk known as Ethereal Razor. Gamers will also get an additional tier skip for completing daily callings, which is very cool to hear. Operation Grand Heist will include a new Western-themed destination called Ghost Town, which I believe is for Blackout, comprised of 2 locations inspired by fan-favorite maps. Outlaw is based on the standoff map from Black Ops 2. I don't remember that off the top of my head. And Buried is said to be modeled after a popular Zombies level. There's also a new Hot Pursuit mode centered around the SUV, muscle car, and PBR, which I'm assuming is the police car, and a brand new prestige system to look forward to, which is interesting but vague. What do we think about all the new stuff they are adding?
Well, I got to say, it's nice to see them at this level of support. And if they keep this going for 3 years, I mean, this game's going to be just constantly something you can revisit, which is great. We've said in the past, though, Treyarch's really good about supporting their games, and they're kind of the king of Call of Duty. So
yeah,
I am glad to see that they're still there. I wish, the game did something for me personally, because I love the amount of just, I guess, support and content, because a lot of games don't do it that much. So
it's funny because this game has only been out since October, and there's people in comments who are like, this game's been out forever and fucking they're not supporting it. And I'm like, what game are you talking about? What other games are supporting like their game more than this? Like,
that's crazy.
It is fucking crazy. I read that shit. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I say I get a patch like every few months with Final Fantasy 14. And that's
most
great.
games, like 3 months in, you'll get something.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky, and fucking some games don't do anything at all. And these guys, like every fucking month, are rolling something out.
There's people who just turn into spoiled brats, apparently.
It's insane. If you don't like Call of Duty, that's fine. But fucking going like, oh, they're not doing a good job. Like, I don't know what the fuck you want then, man. Like, it's they can't roll something out every fucking 3 weeks. What game did that? Was that Guild Wars 2?
I think it was Paragon.
Oh yeah, Guild Wars 2 also had a pretty regular update thing though, but I don't think it was that.
Most MMOs have a schedule for sure.
No, but theirs was more regular than anybody. Yeah. I remember when it came out, I was like, I've never fucking even heard of that. It's crazy. But they weren't doing anything with like end game, so it's just like random shit. But it was Paragon. Every 3 weeks they would release a new character, which is insane.
A new hero. Yeah.
That
was it.
Yeah, this isn't Tastecast. I was about to start talking about that. So as a person who has played a shitload of this, I'm I think 6th prestige in the game. I fucking just choked all over my fucking mouth. 6th prestige. Fuck, I can't do
today.
It. Yeah, it's not happening. I've played it quite a bit, and I enjoy it quite a bit. I like Call of Duty. Not a super fan of it anymore, but it's fun. As a person who likes to hop around first-person shooters anyway and just kind of hop in and play against random people, a couple games have taken my attention recently, and I pretty much felt like I got my money's worth out of this game already because I've played a shitload of it. But all this coming out all at once, has absolutely piqued my interest. I'm going to be hopping back in and checking out those maps, checking out the new map in Blackout. I think it's really cool that they're already adding a second map for their Battle Royal. You know, a couple months. Took PUBG like fucking 2 years. So, you know, it's cool. I like that they're still continuing the influence of other maps from other Call of Duty games on their Blackout map. The new vehicles is interesting. The zombie stuff is interesting. I like that it says an additional tier skip. So, because it already exists. So I'm wondering if you'll be able to do 2 in one day, which would be very fucking cool. At that point, I think no one can really bitch because that's plenty if you play the game regularly. Also, let's see, hot pursuit mode centered around SUV muscle car, which is interesting. It kind of worries me though because Battlefield Hotline, where the fuck?
It was Hardline.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it was called. That also had like an out in the open chase mode that did not work. It was kind of neat in the idea, but playing it, I couldn't see myself playing it. Like I was just kind of bored the whole time. I'm sure they'll be able to nail it because they have way better ideas most of the time.
Worst case scenario, they're experimenting. It doesn't work. They don't do it again.
Yeah. So. Well, and they experiment like every week. They always have some new random mode out.
Yeah.
That's like the spotlight mode. So, it's interesting. Overall, though, I'm pretty excited for this as a person who plays the game already. I'm stoked that they're adding a new character, even though they're from Black Ops 3. They will have to have new moves because some of the characters in this one already have moves like she had. So they're gonna have to do something to make her stand out from the other characters and balance it out. Return of One in the Chamber also is cool. It's a mode I really enjoyed. But the new maps is probably my most excited part just because Casino and Lockup both looked cool to me. I think Lockup looks a lot more interesting. We barely saw Casino. I think we saw way more of Lockup than Casino, which is kind of weird. Casino was like the room it just showed real quick, whereas
and then
Lockup it showed
fire.
Yeah, and then Lockup it showed like outside and then inside and a little bit more. So Lockup looks like it's gonna be a map that's gonna be really fucking cool for Search and Destroy though, just because you're actually gonna be able to go in and outside of the building and stuff. So. Yeah, overall, I'm excited for it. I'm also excited for the zombie stuff just because a lot of people feel like that's the least supported part of Call of Duty. So adding anything to that hopefully will quell some of those complaints.
Right.
So, and I like to every once in a while when I'm like burnt out, go and hop into zombies a little bit and just kind of play it.
Refresh yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, any thoughts on any of this content?
I mean, it's cool for Call of Duty fans, and if like I said earlier, if Treyarch does this for 3 years, you got a lot of stuff coming out. So
yeah, let us know in the comments, what do you think about Operation Grand Heist? Do you like the idea of Treyarch supporting their game constantly? Are you anti Call of Duty so you don't give a fuck about this? Is any of the content that's releasing exciting for you? Are you a person, one of those people who only likes the zombies mode? You only like Blackout mode? You only like the multiplayer modes? You're excited you're finally getting something. What could they add to this game to get you interested in it? And another real quick question, are you excited for the return of a campaign in the next Call of Duty? Because they've confirmed that as well.
I saw that.
I'll have to see what it is for me to even have like an opinion. They're like, oh, campaign's coming back. I'm like, well, I assumed it would. They were experimenting.
Yeah.
I don't think all the Call of Duties are going to not have a campaign. So let me know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Black Ops 4 and Operation Grand Heist. I've completely forgot already. Second bit news.
All right. So this topic is, I have to start off by saying, is a rumor. And it is from Nintendo-insider.com, who say with utmost confidence in their source that Scalebound is apparently going to come to the Nintendo Switch as a Nintendo exclusive. And the story behind this is essentially that Microsoft in 2017, when they pulled the plug on it, they did refile for the trademark, but apparently couldn't come up with a specific application of what they were going to use it for and lost it. So it sounds like Nintendo may have swooped in, grabbed that IP, and did their own trademark with it. It is worth also noting that due to hardware differences, the game may not be completely the same, and the engine and original game stuff could still technically be owned by Microsoft. So it may not end up being the same game, but supposedly this is coming out. I also want to add to this that I'm gonna mess up her name because I'm not a huge I don't watch a lot of IGN videos, but Alana Pierce, I think her name is.
Elena, I think.
Yeah, she tweeted as well that she had heard from someone in the industry similar. So
Why the hell is she fucking talking about it?
Probably because it broke today. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So what do we think about the possibility of this, and what do you think the likeliness is?
I don't know. There's got to be merit to it in some way, so I hope it's true. The likeliness, we don't see this very often, so I can't really speculate on it. Like, I'd love to say, oh, it sounds pretty likely, but how often does a game get canceled and someone else gets the rights to it? That's the tough part, because Microsoft could have sat on it. I can't believe, like, obviously they just did not give a shit about that game that much.
Which is kind of insulting.
Yeah. Before I can even get into my opinion on this real quick, and I think I'm going to speak for you as well on this. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, a year or two ago, probably over a year ago, easy, we're waiting for exclusive games to come out for Xbox, some stuff that you might be more in particular excited for. I'm pretty much excited for most shit. I was still excited for Crackdown 3 back then. And, Scalebound was always the one we kept talking about. Like, that one looks cool. Platinum Games is fucking dope. It's a multiplayer game where you can fucking have like a customizable dragon, and it's like it's an action game. It looked cool as fuck. Then it got canceled, and we're like, you had one game that was like super fucking unique looking to like the Xbox, an experience that you can't get anywhere else, and they fucking canceled it. Which was crazy. Where it's like, okay, well, you better have other stuff up your sleeve. Like, we'll remain hopeful, but that's crazy because that was like the one I was like, you can't play that anywhere else. Mm-hmm. That's like, you'd have to have an Xbox to play that shit. They canceled it, and that was really fucking disappointing because not only just for the exclusive of Xbox, which is disappointing, but also just as a fucking game that we do not get. It sucks. Moving forward to this, and hearing that, they didn't re-up their trademark because they didn't have an idea for it just shows more of like, they really didn't care about the game all too much. Like, for whatever reason they canceled it, which is probably funding. The game was in development for a while.
Yeah, since the Wii, I guess.
Yeah, which is crazy. They obviously just let the trademark go, and it's funny because there's been this quiet like fervor of people who really wanted to play Scalebound. We're part of that. I still bring it up. We talked about it on TastyCast.
The game could have been a complete like shitty game too, but
possibly
in appearance and whatnot, it literally was something I would not have expected from Microsoft.
Yeah,
and was excited. To see that.
Platinum Games doing a multiplayer game where you're flying around dragons, something that we haven't seen from them.
Yeah,
so it was really a unique fucking game that nobody got. Going forward, though, in a reality where fucking this is true, and Nintendo did snipe that property because they somehow are in the know and they pay attention to Twitter and people on YouTube and all sorts of shit saying that they wanted Scalebound, and they took that and they're like, we're gonna take this opportunity that Xbox missed out on, and they end up making something that is pretty much the same game or something similar. That's fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. If that is the case and the game ends up being good, holy shit, that's a fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too amped up on that because we don't even know if it's true.
Yeah,
we don't know if the game would be good either. Like, it could come out and suck.
Yeah, it could tank.
But just speculating, if that were to happen, that'd be insane. And that would be more disappointing for me because I'd be like, I'm glad it got made. I'm glad it got put on Nintendo because the Switch is a great console. But goddamn, like, Xbox made a lot of fucking mistakes in this console cycle. Made a lot of good ideas too, a lot of good choices, but a lot of bad ones as well. So just putting that out there, that would be such an interesting thing to happen in gaming for Nintendo to get that. Now, outside of the speculation on what could happen, if this is true, I'm excited. Best case scenario, I would hope it is in the spirit of the original one, be pretty much the same game. Obviously, it's not going to be able to have the same visual fidelity as an Xbox game, but if they can still maintain the multiplayer, the dragon stuff, the customization, the action with lower graphics, I'd still be down for it. I mean, I'm really interested in this. Switch also is a great multiplayer console because you can take the fucker with you everywhere. So you can play this game with your friends. I'd love to see. I mean, Platinum Games is already working on that whatever chain game,
And Bayonetta 3.
So Nintendo and them are like buddies at this point.
They have a good relationship
currently right now because they're working together.
especially because Nintendo pays for Bayonetta.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, because it was exclusive. Bayonetta 2.
And so is 3.
Yeah. So obviously they're in bed with each other on that, and it kind of makes sense of them. You know, I'm sure Platinum Games, as soon as the Scalebound trademark, got released, they're probably paying attention to it the whole fucking time.
Oh yeah.
No one works on a game for years and then just forgets about it because it got
no.
canceled. Yeah. So they're probably like, hey, Nintendo, fucking, I swear this game is gonna be dope, and they're like, ooh, okay, we like dope, we like fun. So yeah, I hope that's the case. I hope they do something as similar as possible to the original concept. They've had time to think on it too. Maybe make the game fucking better. Maybe think of some new ideas that the Switch can offer that the Xbox couldn't. But overall, I hope this is true. I hope it's fucking awesome. I hope it is similar, not just the name getting taken over to something else. I'd still be interested because it's Platinum Games, and it'd still be interesting to see and have that story to tell of what Scalebound was and the other console it was supposed to be on. Now it's on this and it's this now. But if they could just transfer what they were originally going to do onto the Switch, that'd be fucking awesome. And that would be something that I would buy just on principle alone to show solidarity, to be like, this should have been made in the first place and they didn't believe in it. Your fucking loss. Unless it, came out and the game looked like complete fucking ass, which I don't think Platinum Games could do that. They haven't really made a game that's bad, really. So
No, I mean they've made okay games, but
sure,
yeah,
but in their recent years, not really.
yeah.
They're not really making low end games anymore. So, but yeah, overall, I remain really hopeful and really fucking excited for this. I can't wait to hear a confirmation to see where this goes.
That's where I'm at. If this comes out and becomes like officially announced or whatever, that would be great, and I would be very excited for that. Right now, obviously, I have to kind of keep that in check because this is a website and their reliable source. Mm-hmm. There's not a bunch of websites covering this. Everyone's literally quoting that one website. So
I've seen all over the place too, so it's being talked about a lot.
It is being talked about. I do have to say, and I'm gonna actually repeat the fact that they had the trademark. They took enough interest to renew it, but then weren't able to come up with what application they were gonna have with it. Never mind. It's frustrating. I can't. Anyways, going forward with this, if Nintendo is in fact funding another Platinum Games game,
which isn't far-fetched at all.
It's not far-fetched. That's great. I'm glad that they're able to have that good relationship, and I know in the future with how much even Nier Automata has done as well, I imagine Square will also be knocking on their doors at some point as well. Mm-hmm. So in the end, if this is true, for the first and foremost, this is great for Platinum Games, because they were in a really awful spot there for a while, and fortunately they've had the ability to dig themselves out of a
success
hole. Yeah. So, and I hope that trend continues, and if this game does play in, like you said, the same style as the original, the graphics aren't that huge of a deal. You could take off some of that stuff. A fun game is a fun game, and a fun 4-player co-op game customization is going to make you forget about any of that stuff anyways. So, and I can't think of someone who doesn't want to be able to just play a game with their friends and have that kind of experience. So especially
their friends know. With people, a lot of people don't like to play with people.
Sure, and they don't have to. I'm just saying, the people who are watching this, obviously there was a unique game being made there. Japan's really good about making these mix of fantasy sci-fi games, and this is exactly what this game was. And they always do it in such a imaginative way. So
yeah, it's cool looking too, because there's big bosses and shit. You're flying around and fighting on the ground
scale,
and shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, waiting for official confirmation whether they say rumor or truth. So,
how likely do you think it is?
I think it's actually pretty likely, especially because you could probably look up the trademark history because that's public knowledge.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. Whether it's going to actually be the same Scalebound or something very similar, if it's going to be a different game, I can't speculate on because they're just getting the name, and there's no reason to believe anything because we don't even know if the engine is owned by them or by Microsoft, all that kind of shit. So we don't know what's going to happen with that, but that they got the trademark and they're going to do something with it because they are already working with Platinum Games, I think is very likely.
For sure.
And with the amount of like with them saying it, and also what's her face saying she heard something about it. If she heard something about it, she's coming out with it. That happens a lot in the gaming industry. So people hear about shit and they don't say anything because you don't want to be the first guy to put out wrong information. But when someone else does it, you can kind of piggyback and go, yeah, I also heard something. So that kind of adds validity to it. But yeah, all in all, if this is just another exclusive coming to the Switch, they're just fucking they're making all the fucking right decisions. It's awesome.
Yeah. So. Also, one last thing to add to that. There's another rumor out there, obviously, of them making a more powerful Switch as well.
Yeah, there was an analyst, I think last year, talking about how that there was going to be in 2019 or 20 a Switch Slim and a Switch Pro.
So remember when the new 3DS came out, and they announced side by side with it, Xenoblade Chronicles?
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening too.
Yeah.
Here's this more powerful
Nintendo
Switch. Here's Scalebound.
Nintendo has a long history though, even back to the fucking 64 of adding things later that make their console more powerful and having games that need that power. Yep. So they have a long history of doing that.
So that could be it too. That's my thought.
As long as you have a UI that can play the same on different specs, you just make a more powerful fucking Switch. A year or two later, it's completely possible because they'll still be able to play the prior games,
right?
And the other games, like the PS4 does, just won't be able to play on the higher graphics.
Right. Be
very smart for them to do, and for the people that want the higher graphics, better graphics on the Switch, so I can stop going, well, you're not going to get those graphics on the Switch. It'd be awesome. Especially because they kind of put themselves behind with the Wii and the Wii U graphically behind everybody else who moved pretty far forward ahead of them. Be very smart to be more modular and try and keep up because from what I hear, the PS5 is supposed to be a fucking powerhouse. Xbox, I haven't heard anything about the specs, but I'm sure it'll be comparable. They've also learned a shitload of lessons, so I think Xbox is going to come real fucking hard next console cycle.
I agree.
And Nintendo making a Pro, I think would be very smart because they came in later, and Nintendo is all about longevity when it comes to their consoles. Yeah. I mean, people are still alive. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's exciting though. I'm really stoked to see what happens.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it.
Let us know in the comments. What do you think about Scalebound trademark being purchased by Nintendo? What do you think it means? Do you think we're going to get Scalebound as it was on the Switch? Do you think we're going to get something else named Scalebound on the Switch? Are you excited for that? Are you not excited for that? Do you think it's not going to happen? You think this is all like, well, they're just securing the name for maybe later? And what do you think about the Switch Lite and Switch Pro? Do you think those are probably going to come out? What do you think about that as well? And let me know everything you think about when it comes to Scalebound, the Switch, Nintendo, and modular consoles in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out my streams on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. Hit the notification button to know when I go live. If you want to watch my streams on this channel, you can do that as well. Doesn't matter. Pick your poison. Go to Twitch. Stay on YouTube. Watch my streams anywhere I dual stream. We have Discord link down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. And we're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And if you're listening to us, check us out on YouTube at Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Until the next episode, which will be this weekend for TastyCast, or no. We got Plus Club and Game of the Month, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah. So make sure to play those games.
This week.
We'll do that too. And we'll talk about it at the end of this week. Until then, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.